Now, our final speaker for this evening is a man who's played an absolutely pivotal role over the last 4 years in building these awards into the prestigious event they've now become. Can I welcome to the stage Neil Armstrong, Chief Executive of Fastflow Group. Neil.
Thank you, Lucy. Good evening, everyone. Before I begin, I would just like to say a big thank you to Cheryl for her tireless work to make these awards and this and TV what it is today. She really does, I think, deserve a special warm hand of applause. Thank you. Now, some of you may be sensing a strong feeling of déjà vu because, much like an overplayed record which glitches back to the start, I'm standing here again for the 4th year of these wonderful TV awards. Yet again, I'm imploring us to face the music. But unlike Irving Berlin, I promise I won't ask anyone to dance. Well, certainly not yet, but maybe later. We've watched 4 years of brilliant, inspiring films, shining a light on an imminent need for change to save our living world. 4 years. Where has it all gone? It's a question my wife tends to ask about my hairline on a regular basis. But just humor me for a minute while I take us back to the classroom. So, hands up if you've been here before. Thank you. And hands up if you remember last year's brilliant selection of films. Okay, some returners. And hands up if you remember my standing here and beseeching us all to make a difference. Thank you. Now, I won't ask you to put your hands up, but I want you to consider whether, over the past 12 months, you've personally implemented any positive changes linked to sustainability and the environment, and if you've seen them through. Now, you may be thinking, look, it's just not that easy. Like a New Year's resolution to eat better, it always starts well until February comes along and the cupboards are full of chocolate once again. Sadly not sent by your intended Valentine. In TVE's case, February comes along in December. Now, I'll put my hand up and I'll say I'm as guilty as anybody. With a busy life and kids, good intentions inevitably fall by the wayside. And anyway, it sometimes feels that what I do contribute only turns the smallest of cogs in an unruly global machine. With Beijing's all-year-round smog approaching the consistency of a Sherlock Holmes-style pea souper, and President Trump doing his best to bring Poldark back into the 21st century, by glorifying the mining industry, irrespective of risk, and ripping up the progress made on climate change legislation, turning off the tap when I brush my teeth seems unlikely to make much of a difference. Yes, it can feel uninspiring to fight a relentless battle with little perceptible evidence of any progress. To think about issues on a global scale, how our actions affect the entire world is overwhelming, which is why we must all be particularly thankful for these films, each demonstrating that minor neglect is becoming a major issue in everyday life. From the Marshall Islands, a passionate poem about the numbers of butterflies and bees and how they are depleting year on year, as shown in The Butterfly Thief. Flowers bloom prematurely, leaving no source of food, and so the journey for our winged friends is cut short. It's fair to say that the number of bees in flight is reducing in inverse proportion to the number of aircraft in our skies. Whereas bees spread pollen, airplanes spread pollution. Now, diesel can take us around the world, but it cannot feed us. And talking of travel, will there still be a beach holiday destination to fly to in the future world that we're building? According to the indigenous people of the Marshall Islands, one of their islands, once a paradise full of coconut trees and lush vegetation, has disappeared under a rising tide. Much like Orwell predicting the future of our politics, it seems Plato is predicting the future of our landscapes. His fictional island of Atlantis, sunk deep beneath the ocean, what was once allegorical has become a frightening reality. Even the great pleasure of buying clothes comes with a price tag, infinitely more severe than the number on the label, as is clear in Selfridge's short Material World. Most high-end brands cost consumers less than the cost to the environment and the lives of the employees who make them, particularly denim, one of the biggest pollutants of them all. I'll never be able to watch a John Wayne movie properly again, I think, after seeing that. But that's enough doom and gloom, because we're here tonight celebrating some brilliant films. And like those filmmakers, we are all here to effect positive change, because there is hope too. One clear strand of progress seen in these films is in education, such as the STEM program, inspiring the next generation to engage with sciences and deliver a more sustainable future. Awareness of HIV is being shared in communities to help to reduce the transmission from mother to baby. And there are remarkable individuals instigating change, such as Betchabila, a young woman in Ghana who travels from village to village despite her physical limitations to educate locals on water issues. Organizations and individuals working to make a better world, proving that the smallest of ripples, when multiplied again and again, will produce a tidal wave of improvement. Sadly, unlike the current waves of plastic bottles. All of these films have a three-act structure. They have a beginning, a middle, and they have an end. The opportunity we face here tonight is that the planet currently has had a beginning and a middle, but it needs a happy ending. We're the ones holding the pen. We're the ones that are writing the future history books. And we're the ones that can play key roles. Now, it's easy to watch these films in a comfortable chair, at a comfortable distance, and it's easy to feel passionately about them. But unfortunately, feeling just isn't enough. So let's throw ourselves into writing a story of redemption, improving the quality of life for future generations, so our grandchildren can have clean lungs, can live in a disease-free world with diverse landscapes and cultures. Of course, there will be heroes who will help us. And there'll be arrogant, orange-tinted villains who hold us back. But here we are in London, and as one of the films succinctly put it, cities are the drivers of change around the world. So what lessons can we learn from Betchabila in Ghana? What action can we take as individuals to make things better? Though things like HIV and clean water have a much bigger effect in the developing world, there are things that we can do here. Things that go beyond just ticking a CSR box, that go beyond putting our hands in our pockets and giving money. Let's seek ways of improving our own communities that may seem small and insignificant, but have a hero's effect. Now, at the risk of sounding sensational, in these films, we have seen the change that we want to be. But for the sake of our future story, and as Gandhi so aptly put it, it's time to be the change that we want to see. Let's help play a defining role in the most crucial scene of them all, the story of redemption for planet Earth. Thank you. Please sit. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Neil. That was an incredibly heartfelt, wonderful speech. I don't know who you mean by the arrogant, orange-tinted villain, but I'll keep thinking. Now, we've given you a taste of the shortlisted films entered into this year's awards, but if you would like to see all the films, the beginning, the middle, and the end, as Neil put it, please go to the tve Global Sustainability Film Awards website. It will be very much worth your time. And now it only remains for me to thank once again all those who've helped make our 2017 Global Sustainability Film Awards such a resounding success. All our film entrants, our sponsors, partners, supporters and volunteers. Thank you all for your passion and commitment, and enjoy the rest of this wonderful evening. It's been an honour to present these awards tonight. Thank you.